Welcome into Bleacher Talk. I'm Jordan Spurgeon. Thank you for joining us. The football world never stops here in State 48. There's plenty happening in the pros, plenty happening at the collegiate level, and of course, like we talk about on this show every week, lots going on in the high school space. Hamilton High School, one of the premier schools, not only in the state, but in the country when things are right, has named its new head coach, Travis Dixon, the former quarterback who led them to their first ever state titles back in the early 2000s, is back at the helm. So I catch up with him in just a few moments here in the show. And then Brad Sesmat joins the show, catches up with Jim Camarillo. He's been the defensive coordinator at Saguaro, leader of the MFCN Minority Football Coaches Network. He's putting on an Offertunity Bowl to give kids opportunities to earn scholarships this late in the game, specifically seniors. So a lot of Division II schools, a lot of Division III schools. Really cool bowl game that he's put together, Arizona versus California. So Brad and Jim will talk about that. And then later in the show, I have a few words that I want to give you as well. But for now, let's catch up with Travis Dixon. I'm Jordan Spurgeon. Big news on the high school front at one of the premier programs in the state this past week. Hamilton High School names its new head coach, and that is Travis Dixon. Travis, you're the former Hamilton Husky quarterback. You won the first two state champions all the way back in the early 2000s as the quarterback. So as you've gone along the coaching journey, did you ever imagine that it would take you full circle back at Hamilton one day?
I just think in life everything's full circle, right? When I first got into coaching, I was a young guy. Wanted to go at the highest level possible. Especially when you start off at Hamilton and then go to Arizona State, you try to stay at that level as long as possible. Knowing that sometimes coaches don't stay at that level at a high elite level for very long. And like I said, some things changed within the course of life. And when I came home and me and my wife, Joanna, we had started our family, I think this was the best opportunity, best situation for us was to continue to be rooted here in Arizona and raise our family here.
How did this come about? So you're on Eddie Zuby's staff at Higley 2 years ago, part of a championship team there. You get your first head coaching gig at Eastmark. Great season there. You get them into the 4A quarterfinals. And then this job opens up. How did the process work on your end? Was it you applying? Was it them reaching out? Like, what was it like from your perspective?
I think the biggest thing was it's just trying to just put my name in the hat and see where it goes. I know it was a national search for this job for the coach that they wanted to hire. There was a lot of great people that I'm sure that put in for it. At the same time, I think the body of work and the things that I've done over the course of a decade and my things that I've done at the college level and high school, speaks value for itself, regardless of the situations and everything else. I'm just excited to have the opportunity, and I think the biggest thing starts with the support of my wife. My wife was able to give me the support to do these things to allow me to progress and move forward, but also Delatorre over at Hamilton, just putting his trust and faith in me and Brett Palmer, the athletic director. So I'm excited about this opportunity, excited to be the fifth head coach over at Hamilton.
So the expectation there is always championships. I know the last one was won in 2012, but the last few years have still been successful. 5 straight Open Division appearances, a field goal away from winning an Open Division championship back in 2020. What do you think it's going to take for you? And maybe you've had those discussions. I'm assuming you've had those discussions with front office and maybe even kids now. What do you think it's going to take for you to get back to that level of not just getting there every year, but getting this team over the hump and winning potentially its first Open Division championship?
Definitely. Well, I think Coach G's done a great job during his time here. Came in during a rough time, but got it to be competitive and did the things that he was supposed to do when that program was at a rough state. And I want to give all the credit to him. And the things that he's continuously done during the course of the years here. I think the biggest thing when I look at this job and the opportunity for us to be competitive and to get in that last game, it's how we train and how we go about being a champion. I talk about championship habits every day. I think everything that we do in life, we fall back on our training. And what does that look like for us day in and day out, on and off the field, to make sure that we're doing things the right way and we're falling back on our training when it's the most time for us to persevere and we hit adversity. What do those things look like? How are we training? How are we getting these kids ready to handle that, not just on the field, but like I said, in life, so they can handle those things together and work together to accomplish the dream and the goal.
So you're well traveled. You've coached in different states. You obviously played in different states. What is it that just keeps bringing you back to Arizona? I know you're from here, and you said now you want to plant roots here with your wife, and you guys like it here. But what specifically about Arizona high school football and maybe even the other levels keeps you coming back and wanting to have roots?
Yeah, I think you look at Arizona, it's just growing consistently, but I think the level of competition of high school football has definitely tremendously grown. Like I said, I've been around the different states, and I think it's competitive as any other state in high school football in the country. Arizona has definitely that's a state that's consistently on the rise day in and day out, as you see it. And what I mean by that, it's competitive. There's great coaches here in the Valley. I just think, in all, it's a great place to be a part of high school athletics. And I'm excited to be here. Like I said, my wife is from here. I'm from here. My wife went to Hamilton as well. Just have a lot of roots here, and it's a great place. And this is always home for us. It was always going to be home for us, regardless if I stayed in the college coaching or if I was in high school. Like, this is the place that we knew we were always going to come back and be.
Joined for a few minutes here by Travis Dixon, the new head coach over at Hamilton High School, one of the premier high school programs here in State 48. Your first year as a head coach last year was at Eastmark. You spent plenty of time in different roles on different coaching staffs. What was the biggest lesson you learned being a head coach for the first time that was different than any other role you've had before?
I think over the course of the years, I prepared myself for this moment. And I've been in different circles where they allow me to be in certain meetings and those different things to prepare myself for this for that opportunity at Eastmark. I think it was very smooth, and I think I want to give a lot of credit to just the Queen Creek School District, and really the guy that hired me was Mr. Lushner. He did a great job of helping me navigate through a lot of those difficulties and different things that took place. And then our principal over there, Jay Snicker, like, those guys did a tremendous job of mentoring me and being with me every step of the way. I don't think there was a lot of hiccups due to the great quality work that they've done. That allowed me just to be a teacher and teach kids and do something that I love. This is impacting young men's lives on the football field as much as possible. So I think that transition of being in that role was as smooth as possible. Are there things that we deal in day out? I think so, just because we wear many hats, but nothing that was just crazy and just a learning curve. I think the biggest thing you learn is how to continuously to manage other people and how to control everything in the environment around you. I think just continuously have control of the environment around you day in and day out.
What's your on-campus role? What do you teach?
Right now I'm over there. I'm just a PE teacher on campus. So like I said, like, that transition, what Mr. Lucian did for me, made it as smooth as possible so I could focus on being the head football coach. And just putting the right people around me to make sure I'm successful. I think those are the things that are essential to any head coach to being successful. Hire people based off what your weaknesses are and put people around you who are strong in those areas. So I think that was the hugest thing, and I want to give credit to my staff over at Eastmark and supporting me in the things that we were doing.
So being a Hamilton alum, I think you know how strong the alum base is. You know, the schools out here, I'd say Hamilton, Chandler, Saguaro, you go to any of their home games and it is just always packed with alumni on the sidelines, very proud alumni through the ups, through the downs. What do you want to say to some of them as you get ready to embark on this journey here at Hamilton?
Well, definitely, I've been in contact with quite a few alumni so far, and the ones that reached out to me as well. The biggest thing is I want them to feel like family, and I want them to be around. I think there's some times where different things happen in different people's lives where they kind of disconnect because you got some different things going on. But I want to reconnect the family and just get people around to be excited about this place and the product of work that we're doing. Like I said, I'm part of that community. I grew up in that neighborhood, and I'm just excited to reconnect with my community, and I'm glad to be back home and just try to get as many people out there and make Friday nights very exciting for people in the Husky Nation.
Just got one more thing I want to pick your brain on a little bit too, just because it is a big topic of discussion. But obviously, the college landscape is a ever changing ground. There's lots of discussion. You know, do players have too much ability to leave? Do coaches now have too much ability to leave on a dime like that after having players stay? How do you navigate that with kids when you have guys? Because at Hamilton, you're going to have guys going to play at some of these programs. How do you navigate telling them, like, listen, the relationship with the coaches at the next level is important, but the school may be more important because you never know when a coach is going to leave. We've got 6 guys from this state going to U of A early, have their NLI signed. They're there on campus, and boom, the coach leaves. Now they have to really love that school if they want to stay there. So how do you kind of navigate that?
I think the best thing is to continuously educate them. One is when I talk about education, is educate them on where they want to go to school, where they feel that they can stay there for 3 to 4 years after they finish. Regardless of the coaches, as we see it now, coaches and players come and go all the time. Mm-hmm. Is this a place you truly foresee yourself finishing out at and potentially staying here and living here for 3 years prior to you graduating college? I look at that aspect of it. I look at, yes, some relationships are important as you go, but what are the other relationships that you build with guys on recruiting trips, the culture and the environment, and the guys that are in the locker room? Because those are the guys you're going to be with day in and day out. Those are the guys you're going to work and train with and compete with on the field on a daily basis. And then there's other factors that play into place, but those things all fall into what's the best position for you and your family? What is the best decision for you and your family and where you guys are at? And like I said, it just kind of just slowly start to look and evaluate those boxes as we go down through that process. It's like, all right, here's where this is at. We know, hey, this is a high risk here. But at the end of the day, it does to check off all your other boxes and the things that you want. Those are things that have to continuously to evaluate and assess with the family, have a lot of family discussions as much as they want to continuously involve us as the head coach and their position coaches and everything else. So
there you have it, Travis Dixon, the new head coach of the Hamilton Huskies. Congrats on getting the gig. I'm sure we'll see you out at spring ball. And good luck getting settled in. Thank you for joining me.
I appreciate you. Thank you so much, Jordan, for having me.
Custom ordering is at Santan Ford. Colors, wheels, trims, performance packages, and more from the factory right to your driveway. And you can even track your custom Ford every step of the way.
We are Santan Ford.
Let's talk about Venezia's Pizzeria, New York-style pizza. Oh, man, this looks so good. Pizza doughs made fresh daily, wings, subs, sandwiches, pasta. They cater, they deliver. They have 5 Valley locations. Venezia's New York-style Pizzeria.
Bienvenidos.
Here in the heart of the American Southwest, you'll find 3 well-known restaurants all named Valle Luna, serving the finest Sonoran-style Mexican food known across the country and beyond. And we're open for business, so come on in. We've fired up the grill and iced down the refreshments and even added some specialties along the way.
Thanks for coming.
Hello. Greetings.
Welcome back.
No matter where you're from or how you say it, at Valle Luna, you're always welcome, and we're glad to have you back.
Discover more Play for All at Harrah's Auction Casino.
Hi, folks. What are your drinks?
Where having fun means racking up reward credits with the Caesars Rewards loyalty program that can be redeemed for food, free play, hotel stays, and more. Not only here in the city of Maricopa, but also at more than 50 Caesars properties coast to coast. From Harrah's Las Vegas to Caesars Palace in Atlantic City. What are you waiting for? Play for All at Harrah's Auction Casino, the official sponsor of Play.
We got them at Santan Ford. From the latest all-electrics to the most rugged 4x4s and America's best-selling truck.
We are Santan Ford.
Welcome back to Bleacher Talk, the Offertunity Bowl. Jim Camarillo joins Brad Sesmat to talk about what this bowl game is going to do. It's going to give seniors an opportunity to play in front of college coaches that wouldn't get to see them. So here is Jim Camarillo and Brad Sesmat talking about the Offertunity Bowl.
You know, the idea actually came to me. The guys that run the Polynesian Bowl, which is a group of guys based in Southern California that have been doing these bowl games, all-star games around the country for decades now. They reached out to me last fall, said, hey, here's our idea. Here's what we want to do. We've had these all-star games, but we really want to make sure that we're approaching or trying to reach Division II, Division III, some of the smaller schools around the country, and get some of our kids on the radar that maybe for whatever reason, portal, COVID, whatever is going on in the recruiting world in college, to make sure these kids get on the radar of some of these colleges and get evaluated. So based on that premise, I said, let's do it. I don't really want just another all-star game. Everybody gets a t-shirt and goes home. We really wanted more meat on the bone on this. And I think we really doing a good job of trying to promote it, getting colleges interested. I was here last night. I went to a couple social events and met some guys and had some conversations. And they're like, hey, this is fantastic, because as coaches, we don't get a chance to go to Arizona and recruit your kids and recruit your campuses personally. So this is fantastic. We can make some connections with your high school coaches and see some of your kids play. So we're looking forward to it. I think it's going to be a real fun event.
Well, I have to tell you, Jim, in this day and age of where parents, I went to signing day. I'll just put it this way. I went to signing day. I went to Hamilton, Basha, and Castile, all in a span of an hour and a half. And between those three schools, I didn't make it to Chandler because Rick Garrettson decides 6:30 a.m. That's not happening for me. I'm just not doing that. But between those three schools, there were 11 kids. Back in the day, and that's not even that long ago, even 5 years ago, I'd find 11 kids at one school. So with what you're talking about with the portal and how that has changed, where colleges, especially big brand colleges, they're not taking the high school kid any longer unless it's a sure deal. And even then, there's no such thing as a sure thing. So I think you're coming into a space that is vital now for parents to say, what do we do here? Because the high school kids, it's drying up.
Yeah, you're right. And unfortunately, it is the world we live in right now. I mean, I guess I don't blame the college coaches for approaching, a business model for them and recruiting of using the portal to get 21-year-old kids instead of a 17 or 18-year-old guy in high school. I get that, right? But we've got to do something. And again, when I met with the group from California, we seem to be on the same page in all of our philosophy on this whole thing and where we are in the recruiting world these days. So really, we just try to point our attention towards getting these kids an opportunity to play, during the game, and make new friends, make new relationships, see what it's like when they go to college. If these guys go on to college, they're gonna have new coaches, new terminology, new playbook, new teammates, all that stuff. So this is kind of a little bit of a taste of that if they go on to college to in a new program.
Okay, it's the Opportunity Bowl. Give me the where, when, that part of it. I've got the why now. Where? Give me the where and the when.
Yeah, so the when is January 27th, a couple weeks, and it's going to be played at Ottawa University in Surprise. Mm-hmm. The California team's coming to us, so we're going to kick off around 1 o'clock on Saturday, January 27th. The game will be live streamed, broadcast live, but we're really encouraging people to come out and support these kids' efforts and support these families and coaches. Hopefully, we'll get a bunch of coaches of the players that are playing in the game to come out and watch their guys play, and some family and friends. The group from California is coming out. They've done this and they do it right. They're bringing a DJ, and they've got, I heard about food trucks and all this stuff. So I think it's going to be a fun day. How you can register or watch the game, you can go on our website at mfcnnetwork.org. Follow me on Twitter, Coach Cam. We're sending stuff out. A lot of the coaches around the state of Arizona have already received a bunch of communications. I'm going to send out another one this week, so the high school football community knows how to register.
Thanks for the time, Jim. Safe travels.
Thanks, Brad. See ya.
When you get a home loan from Desert Financial, you're not just getting a mortgage. You get a mortgage. You'll get more competitive rates, more local servicing of your loan. We even offer a closing guarantee on select loans. And because more is better, get up to $5,000 closing cost credit when you use a participating real estate broker. At Desert Financial, we don't just do mortgages, we do mortgages. Click, call, or come in for more information on our great rates, local servicing, and how you can qualify for a closing cost credit of up to $5,000.
Let's talk about Venezia's Pizzeria, New York style pizza. Oh man, this looks so good. Pizza doughs made fresh daily, wings, subs, sandwiches, pasta. They cater, they deliver. They have 5 Valley locations. Venezia's New York style pizzeria.
Inspiration is closer than you think. Come visit Burge Mazda during the Season of Inspiration sales event. Now's the time to go past ordinary. Drive a Mazda CX-5 with 0% financing up to 60 months on all trims. Get a Mazda CX-30 Turbo or a Mazda CX-50. Save with 1.9% financing up to 60 months. Or get a Mazda CX-90 with 2.9% financing up to 60 months. The third row SUV to fit your lifestyle. They're all here at Burge Mazda during the Season of Inspiration, Baseline and Country Club, and BurgeMazda.com.
We've got some fresh new young talent doing some things that I know you haven't heard before.
1, 2, 3, listen.
Now bust a move, bust a move, bust a move.
Bienvenidos.
Here in the heart of the American Southwest, you'll find 3 well-known restaurants all named Valle Luna, serving the finest Sonoran-style Mexican food known across the country and beyond. And we're open for business, so come on in. We've fired up the grill and iced down the refreshments and even added some specialties along the way.
Thanks for coming.
Hello. Greetings.
Welcome back.
No matter where you're from or how you say it, at Valle Luna, you're always welcome, and we're glad to have you back.
Welcome back to Bleacher Talk. I'm Jordan Spurgeon, and before we wrap up this week's show, I want to touch a little bit on some of the news that's been going on that's affecting some kids locally here in State 48. And of course, if you've been on X, you've paid attention to different outlets, paid attention to us, you see that Jedd Fisch leaves Arizona, is heading to UW. I have a lot of mixed feelings on this, but I don't think things are so black and white because we do have a transfer portal now where players can leave during designated times. And coaches have always had this power to leave, but even more so now as these conferences, especially the SEC and the Big Ten, become kind of the 2 conglomerates in college football, have so much power and so much influence over these coaches. I'm not here to play the blame game on anybody, but when moves like that happen, it's the kids that get affected the most. All I want to say when moves happen like this, don't sit there and blame one person, blame one player for this, group of players, coaching staffs, because this is just part of the game. And it sucks because now, in Arizona's case specifically, you had 6 in-state recruits who were some of the best in-state recruits this program has had in decades, all come to campus and sign their NLI early so they could start in January and be ready for spring ball. They'd been there 6 days, and now their coach and the entire offensive coaching staff is pretty much gone. So now these kids have decisions to make. And so all I can stress is, I hope those kids fell in love with the school. Obviously, it's very enticing to just fall in love with the words and the actions of a coach and a coaching staff showing you love and flipping there and building something special. And that's an important factor that gets you to a school. But when you fall in love with the coach and the coaching staff, it's going to be short-lived. they don't stick around anymore. It's very rare. Maybe at ASU it could be different with Kenny Dillingham because he's a Sun Devil for life and has that in his blood, but that's a very rare occurrence, and it still remains to be seen if that's the case. But what happened in Tucson, it's not necessarily a shame. It's not necessarily a bad thing, because I don't think you can look at things as good or bad. You just kind of see how things play out and let it go from there. But all I can say is I really hope that, the kids fell in love with the school. And if not, they're able to transfer out. I don't know how that works in the spring, but potentially you sit your freshman year, maybe play a little bit your freshman year and get out there and find other schools. But yeah, I just wanted to touch on that because there's a lot being said. I don't think I blame Jedd Fisch. You shouldn't blame players in this situation, regardless of what they do. All you can do if you are a fan or alumni of the University of Arizona is just support whoever's there. And that's how it goes. And Jedd Fisch brought your program back from the depths of despair. And yeah, he's leaving. And yeah, it might gut the program a little bit. But if you make the right move, it can be back on track within a year or two. But that's all I've got. Thank you for joining me here on Bleacher Talk. I'm Jordan Spurgeon. We'll see you again next week.
Custom ordering is at Santan Ford. Colors, wheels, trims, performance packages, and more from the factory right to your driveway. And you can even track your custom Ford every step of the way.
We are Santan Ford.
Visit us at Harrah's Auction Casino in the city of Maricopa, where you'll find play for all and friendly people ready to welcome you like family.
Welcome back, you two.
As the official sponsor of Play and the only casino in Arizona with Caesars Rewards, see what a difference it makes to play where your fun is our top priority. Harrah's Auction Casino. Play for all.
We got them at Santan Ford. From the latest all-electrics to the most rugged 4x4s and America's best-selling truck.
We are Santan Ford.